everyone, it's Mary. In this video I will be reviewing The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I will start by saying that I completely adored this book. I thought it was so brilliant and I just have to restrain myself from quoting the entire book to you, basically. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. The book was written in the mid-80s and it is set in a dystopian future in which women have no rights. The power is still held by the people who have the money, basically, but none of them are women, and none of the women that are in society, whether poor or rich, are in charge of anything. I won't explain too much about this new society just because you actually get to know it better as the book progresses. What I will say though is that this is told from a handmaid's perspective. Every handmaid lives with a commander and his wife and any other, kind of servants inside the house. And her role, other than going shopping for groceries and stuff, is to actually give this house children. So she has to lay once a month with the commander to basically get pregnant and provide the house a baby, because women are not for the main part fertile. Her name is Offred. Every handmaid has the name of the commander and the off preposition, which means that she is his property. So Offred, she's like the handmaid of Fred. Unlike most dystopian stories that I read, the characters of the book actually remember the time before this new society kind of happened. So they have the perspective of and the comparison with the past. For that purpose, this is told from three time periods from which she shifts narrative. So like you have the present, in which she tells you what is happening, in that moment, what she's doing in the commander's house. And then you have roughly other 2 time periods, one just after this new system was built, and you have the training of the handmaids and how that progressed. So you have that kind of perspective. And then the other one is the past. So before she was a handmaid and she was just a woman with her life and her husband and her child. So you have that kind of past. And sometimes she will go even further back to when she was a child herself or a teenager. But these are the 3 kind of time periods that she jumps from. So first of all, I'm going to comment on the writing style, because I thought it was completely beautiful, the way in which she describes things. So the imagery that she actually uses, the comparisons or the metaphors that she uses are beautiful. For example, she's talking about a mirror here. I can see it as I go down the stairs, round, convex, a pure glass, like the eye of a fish, and myself in it like a distorted shadow, a parody of something, some fairy tale figure in a red cloak, descending towards a moment of carelessness that is the same as danger, a sister dipped in blood. The comparisons that she does, the images that she creates in your mind while she's speaking. Or it would help Rita make the bread, sinking my hands into that soft, resistant warmth, which is so much like flesh. I hunger to touch something other than cloth or wood. I just thought it was so beautiful. I wanted to underline the whole book. There are much more, but I don't want to actually spoil it for you. I'll stop talking about the writing because, A+. The way in which she narrates the story as well is very clever, because it's a very cold perspective, even though it's the first person narrator, and very raw. But you can actually sympathize with the main character, I think, and actually feel for her, and just you put yourself constantly in her position. And that is why it took me quite a while to read this book. It took me 5 days, but it's a very quick read if you actually, read it, because the chapters are very short. But what really made me step away a little bit was that it was so dense and so kind of depressing. Like, it put me in a state in which I was feeling angry and sad, and just I wanted to step away a little bit from it and just get back to it after a while, because I think it is so powerful and poignant. I just adored it, even though I haven't say, read it in one sitting. It talks about women and freedom in a very brutal way, which really makes you think about how easy it is for the people who actually have power, you know, even physical power, could easily take away what you have and what you have achieved in such a painful way, because women have what they have now has been achieved in a very painful way, and still we're not, you know, quite there, if you know what I mean. So it's actually very hard-hitting to me. Even self-value, I would rather have the disapproval. I feel more worthy of it. Like, it's something that is expected, you know, to feel disapproval towards yourself. And that is what happens when your worth is measured by what your body can provide as, you know, baby makers. And that's it. We don't want anything more. We don't want you to think, to feel that's the only thing that you are worth for. Another theme is knowledge and just words, you know, to let your story be known, as this is a handmaid's tale. That is so clever, the way she actually constructed it. And sometimes she talks about speaking and words as if compared to sex, which I thought was brilliant. Like, it says, the terse whispered exchange with Ofglen on our walk today hardly counts, but it was a tease, a preliminary. Having felt the relief of even that much speaking, I want more. Words are so important, and stories are important, even if they seem so small, so useless, even if you feel like nobody is listening. There is something subversive about this garden of Serena's, a sense of buried things bursting upwards, wordlessly, into the light, as if to point, to say, whatever is silenced will clamor to be heard, though silently. I'm glad that I read it actually in a slow way. It was just so intense that it had, like, every word had to sink inside me. It made me really think about the value of what we have and how we must, you know, appreciate and just respect people who actually don't. I would definitely suggest you pick this up. And also, can I just say that I am obsessed with this cover? I don't know what's with this cover. I just love it. I think it's just, watching this kind of cover is the feeling that I get reading the book. So yeah. Anyway, if you read this book, please let me know what you thought of it, and just, we can chat in the comments. I would love to know if you actually enjoyed it or not, and if you didn't enjoy it, why was that? And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!